So the requests continue. I have a request from Ninette, and she would like to do some yoga-inspired stretches. So we're going to bring it onto the mat. No socks, no shoes. I always like to start with my feet kind of settling into the mat when we do Pilates or stretching. And I'm not a yoga instructor, but these are great stretches that we should do daily, at least a few times during the week. So we are going to settle into those feet and just take some breaths here, feeling our lift here, and just reaching those hips back. Big lift up, nice big reach, and stretch back. And we're going to bring it up, and we're going to bring it back. So letting those arms relax, bring your feet out wide. We're just going to go into some hip stretches. So let's bring our hands on thighs, stretch over, come up, and switch to the other side. So as we're stretching our hips, we're breathing a lot. We can start to turn in a little bit, getting a side stretch. You're just turning and looking over that back shoulder. Hands are on thighs for support. Breathing, always breathing. And one more. We'll just get into those hips. And center, hands on thighs. Another that I love is a wide-legged forward bend, where we're lifting our hips up, getting those deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and breathing. So many different stretches cross over from Pilates to stretching classes and yoga. Yoga's been around for years, thousands of years, as well as Tai Chi. But we still can benefit from a daily stretching routine, even if it's 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to walk our feet in here. So we're going to be in a forward bend. You can grab your toes if you like. Go where you're comfortable. Mild tension is the worst sensation that we should feel. We're going to bring those hands right up onto those thighs. We're going to sit our hips back a little bit and just reach the arms to a comfortable spot into chair. Couple breaths here, and then go back to your forward bend and just lightly touch the toes. Stretch in a way that makes you feel better as you're in this forward bend. And back to the center, hands on thighs. Take your time coming up. Shoulders are down, arms forward, and settle back into the chair. So just reach your hips back there. Arms are softly gazing forward. Toes are light. Weight is in the heels. Tipping into that forward bend again. Reaching for those toes, moving it around a little bit. Hands on thighs. Take your time coming up. Roll those shoulders down. We'll bring it again right back into that chair pose. Eyes forward. Arms can come where you're comfortable. I'd like to have them by the ears, but it just depends on how those shoulders feel. We're going to go back into forward bend, and we're just going to rest here for a second. Easy does it. Let's walk our hands out to high plank. If this does not feel good on your shoulders, right down into child's pose. So let's let those knees softly come down and bring it into child's pose. Rocking it out. Slide your fingers back. Curl your toes under. You come up onto the balls of the feet for a foot stretch. Now if this bothers your knees, go right into that forward bend. I like it though. It really helps to stretch your feet. Mild tension, remember. Coming up, forward bend. And walk those hands out. Let's have our down dog here. Hips are up. You can go to the forearms. I have a very hard time getting my heels down. That's a sign of tight hamstrings or glutes. We can walk it a little bit though. You can elevate this too on a chair back. Now let's let those heels gently press back. Going where you can, reach your chest to your thighs, and you're in a nice inverted V. So if we can, we're going to bring it back out into that high plank. If you need to go right back down into child's pose, please do. Let's settle and stretch back and an awesome back stretch. Moving it around a little bit. Arms are just where they feel comfortable. So we're going to do that one more time. Slide the hands back. Curve the toes under. Feeling that stretch. If this bothers your knees at all, go right into forward bend. And here we go. Bringing it up. You might notice some increased flexibility in the back, hips, and hamstrings as we go through these stretches. Now be careful. We're going to walk out to down dog again. You can bring it to the forearm if this bothers the wrists, the shoulders, and the elbows. Again, we want to hip hike it up there. Inverted V, the hips are up, the thighs are engaged. Getting the heels down, that's pretty good. Maybe it's from the hamstring stretching we did the other day. I want to walk the dog. Feel that stretch in the foot, the calf, the Achilles tendon. And gently press them back again. Shift your weight forward, high plank, down to child's pose. If this does not feel good for you, easing it down, stretching it back. You can't go wrong with child's pose. Let's add a little twist. Twisting when we stretch helps to stretch your spine, keep that spinal flexibility. Moving around just feels good. You don't know where your knots and tight spots are until you go looking for them. Let's switch sides. Left arm in front. Relax that left shoulder down. We're looking to the right. And relaxing. So we do cat camel all the time, but I love it. Hands under those shoulders, spread your fingers out. I feel my triceps shaking. We're gonna cat camel up and down. It's just really good for your spinal flexibility. And as we go into spinal extension, I think those abs from last night's ab class. Nice and easy. You're flossing the spine, all those little nerve endings that come out of your spinal column. We're flossing them. Stretch back. And let's have a seat. So we are going to have a seat, and the legs are in a W position. So we do want to sit up nice and tall. Try not to slouch. Let me move my towel so I don't slide. We're going to take our knees from one side to the other. Try to sit up tall. Again, no slouching. Don't cave in through the chest. Keep that chest wide open. We're going to bring the knees from one side to the other and gently press your hip forward. See if you can feel that hip flexor opening. Tight hip flexors from sitting or driving. Easy does it. I'm going to bring my knees over to the left side. And we're going to have that left knee pretty bent. It just depends on how that left knee feels. You can keep the knees, both of them bent. We're going to just manipulate that right leg back. Stay up on the hands. Or just settle into, if this is somewhat like a pigeon pose, I feel really good. Again, I'm not a yoga instructor, but I do know it feels good. And that feels pretty good if you can press your hip down toward the mat. Rather than rotating out, let's try to rotate the hip forward. Just being careful of that left knee. Be comfortable, be safe. Bring it back to the W position, and we're just going to rock it out. You can stay with this too. We had a helping of deep fried biscuits. Yeah, that feels good. Try to find those knots. Just don't cave in through the chest. Now I'm going to take it over to the right side. Again, you can hold. You've got that 45 degree bend in that leg. We can tuck that right knee in, manipulate the left leg back, and just try to have the hips squared down. You don't want to be rotating out. You can lay it down too. Just depends on how that right knee feels. I love to extend through the ankle as well. because we're walking and we're running and we're doing things when our foot is flexed, but now our ankle is extended and it feels really good. And we'll bring it back to the center. So we're going to bring our feet together and we're going to grab as many toes as we can. Sit up nice and tall. Just do a little butterfly stretch. So bring the knees up and relax the knees open. You can use the elbow or the forearm to let those inner thighs relax a little bit. We're going to bring it up and we're going to press it down. Keep retracting through the scapula and go to that point of mild tension. One more here. Get a little press. And bring it up. Now, one thing that I used to see the yoga instructors doing all the time was legs up the wall, because I would have to clean the footprints off the mirrors. But I'm going to see how this feels, because I've actually never done it, and I'm going to mess up my wall. But try to scooch your butt in there as close to the wall as you can. When your butt's touching, I'm scooching, trying to scooch. Oh, I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I'm trying. Now, as we were talking about with the hamstring stretches that we were doing the other day, you want to try to press your hips gently down. My feet are flexed, so I'm really feeling a nice big stretch in the calf, in the hamstring. You can point the toes a little bit. So if you've got a nice wall, you can snuggle up in there. Definitely feeling the hamstrings, especially after today's extravaganza with the legs. Oh, bring those feet down. Just press out. A little butterfly stretch. And number 4 stretch. I'm going to scooch back here. Sorry, wall. Oh, my feet aren't dirty, but I want to enjoy my number 4 stretch. But I'm stuck at the wall. I'm stuck at the wall. Number 4 stretch. Rocking it out. That felt pretty good. It was very easy to lengthen that hamstring. We're going to switch sides. Number 4 stretch. Easy breaths. And let's bring it in. We're going to roll up. Twisting again. If you do have knee problems and sitting cross-legged, it doesn't feel good, straighten your legs out or keep them bent. We're going to take right hand on the left thigh. Let's spiral, looking over the left shoulder, sitting up nice and tall. Again, we don't want to be slouchy. We want to sit up with the chest wide open. And we're going to switch sides. Left hand on the right thigh, looking over the right shoulder. You should feel that stretch along the side. And switch again. So we're going to bring it around. Whee! Sit up tall. Chest be proud. Back is long. We've got that steel rod sticking up our back. We're going to do one more here. Spin, people, spin. And bring it back. Walk forward. Get a little hip stretch here. Hands walk back, hands behind the hips. Now we can open through the chest, keep the shoulders down. We can even lift those hips up a little bit. That really is a nice hip flexor stretch. Let's bring it down. Recross the weird side on top. So we do try to stretch equally, symmetrically, so that we're well balanced. And let's walk those hands back behind the hips. Again, you can just open through the chest. You can bring those hips up. Really does feel great on those hip flexors, the quads. And relax down. So I'm going to stay with the weird side on top. Don't usually sit cross-legged, but when I do, you know, it's usually the other way around. Let's take our right hand by the side of the left ear and just give a little gentle pressure. Bring the chin more toward the inside of the shoulder and the chest. That feels great on the left side of the neck, but don't hold it too long. Bring it around to the other side. Left hand by the side of the right ear. And again, we're tucking inward a little bit, right in front of the shoulder, so that we feel that yowza side of the neck. Let's switch it again. Right ear, right shoulder, a little pull. We're not holding it too long, just long enough, just right. The Goldilocks effect. Last time. Left ear, left shoulder, tucking it in, move it around even. Relax the chin down to the chest, sit up nice and tall. Just do some little gentle roll, chin across the chest. Bringing the head up. Big inhale. Big exhale. One more. We'll do a nice deep breath. Inhale. Bring those hands right in. And I hope you enjoyed the yoga-inspired stretch for Nanette and everyone else that needs more stretching in your life. Excellent. Thank you. Do it often. Doesn't have to be for any length of time. Just make yourself feel better. It always feels good to stretch. Love it.